Hello my friends, how are you today? Thanks for tuning into this little live video that I'm making on Facebook. I hope you're really well today. Loads of love to you. Happy you joined me. And it is, let me see what date it is. It is the 6th of November 2020. In this video I was going to share about I'm happy where I am in life. I'm happy with what's going on in the world, so to speak. I'm okay with it on a spiritual basis, on spiritual terms. I know with the election and with all of the whole control-less virus scamdemic thing that's been happening, I know this has been a very wild year. But I'm going to leave in the comments box when I finish this video a lovely video that I listened to from the ninth dimensional non-physical beings, the Arcturians, channeled by Daniel Scranton, and it's something that I really loved watching today. It was about how it's the karma of the dark side and how they incarnated here on Earth, knowing that they'd be representing or portraying themselves or being the dark side on this planet at the moment, and that they will rack up karma, but they know this, and it's spiritual perfection, but it creates the physical contrast, and it allows the light to shine brightly but in contrast to the darkness. So this year has been a challenging year for everyone, but it's been a year of awakening. It's been the year of mass awakening and mass finding out of the lies and the deceit and control of the dark ones or the Illuminati. But we don't want to, as spiritual beings and as a person who's representing as a spiritual teacher, so to speak, a higher frequency teacher, so to speak, it is important that we care for these people who are sick, and rather than want to hurt them or kill them, it is nicer to bring them with us and help them to heal, so to speak, to care for them, to have forgiveness instead of hatred or resentment. So it's very important to use our healing powers and to be the love and the light that we want to be and that we wish that they could be. So the cabal or the deep state or the Illuminati or the dark forces, whatever you want to call them, okay, they are suffering and much more unaligned than we are as light workers. Now, light worker is just a name. It's not like it's who we are. It's not a huge fancy role. We're not spiritually or even physically better than anyone, okay, but it's just a term, okay. So way changer, way shower, light worker, healer, etc, etc, etc. We sometimes may get into fear and upset and worry and anxiety, but in contrast, we overall definitely have a far higher frequency than people like Bill Gates, who I hear with proxy muscle testing only has a number of 100, whereas Trump has, well, maybe I shouldn't say that, but he's 500, and most of the population have 200, so they're living in fear and 3D living. Now, I'm not pro-Trump per se. I am pro his team, and I know he may have done bad stuff, whatever, but I also know he's been portrayed to have done way more bad stuff than he really has, and all of the loads and loads of good stuff hasn't been in the public either as much or at all because of the cabal and deep state. So what's going on at the moment is that the cabal and the deep state and Biden, even Biden's own son, told on him and dropped in his laptop to tell on Biden, an awful lot of corruption, and they're being controlled by the Illuminati, whereas Trump isn't being controlled by the Illuminati as much or at all by a long shot. Now, a lot of people have gotten triggered by what I've mentioned lately about Trump, because I've no personal attachment to Trump. I don't know him, I've never met him, I'm not his friend, he never messaged me, I don't know him, but I know it's a very sensitive and touchy subject. People, when we do get emotionally attached and invested, we will become very emotionally stirred and triggered. Now, a trigger is when an emotion that's been undigested and not in motion. An emotion that hasn't been in motion, emotion is energy in motion, but when this energy isn't in motion, it's stuck in our cells with cellular memories in our organs, cells, tissues, our chakras. That creates blockages, heaviness, and dims our light, basically. So when this energy becomes in motion, it's now energy in motion. It's felt as an emotion. So instead of being numb or heavy or dull or dead, we actually feel something. But what we feel is often anger that's being suppressed and undigested from the past. A whole load of stuff. It could be sadness, it could be remorse, it could be regret, it could be guilt, it could be depression, it could be anxiety. It's a very big one too, and fear. And definitely anger is a huge one too, okay, when it comes to the elections. So what's happening is humanity is raising its frequency, okay? Earth is going to become more part of the galactic family of other extraterrestrials like the Pleiadians, Arcturians, Sirians, Andromedans, people like that, okay? But first we have to ascend, which is to rise. It's the same words, to rise. And what we're rising is our frequency, okay? We're not rising our physical height. We're rising our frequency, our energy, okay? And that entails like being triggered and processing our triggers. So what happens when we're triggered? Being triggered is a good thing. It means something that's been stuck, blocked, and kept us dim, feeling dead or heavy, bogged down and blocked up, starts to circulate. So when we start to detoxify physically, it's the same thing. Something that's been stuck and kept away and suppressed starts to circulate, and that leads to detox symptoms physically like headaches, rash, tiredness, irritability, moodiness, depression, feeling sad, down, out and depressed. I felt all of these, my friends, from physical detoxing. But similarly, essential symptoms, they could be stuff like tiredness, making us slow down, so we can process stuff, so we can reflect, have time to feel more meditative. So the whole like this year with the scamdemic, maybe it's a good scam that's backfired, that's waking up to humanity, because we've had time to slow down and get out of the rat race and start to think about things in life. So it's actually been like a very good thing in many ways, and it's helped us all to like question things and to wake up and figure things out and see our place in the world, to question and look at authority and see authority in a different way, because ultimately no one's an authority over us. We have God-given rights. We have natural rights, being a living being, being born. So essential symptoms vary, but at the end of the day, like, it's good that we're processing and going through all of this stuff, because it gives us a chance collectively as a race, or as an Earth. I do believe there's definitely different races on Earth, like there's humans and then there's extraterrestrials like reptilians, greys, and there's also probably even Pleiadians on Earth too, for sure, and other, like, you know, at least them. But I'm okay with what happens. I'm unattached. Like, if, let's say, Biden and the cabal win, okay, which I don't think they will, because Trump has set a trap, and they said watch the waters, and the waters is their special mark they're putting on real ballots, whereas Biden and his phony crew, who want to have love and compassion for, and I care for them, and they're probably like sick, low vibe and disconnected from their source, they're trying to like criminally do what they always do. And the cabal, all they ever do is just spew out constant lies over and over and over and over again, constantly. That's all they do all their entire life. They just lie, and that's why people are being kept at a low frequency on Earth for such a long time, because they've just been lied from the day they've been born. So as usual, the cabal, and it's to be expected. So that's why I think most likely for sure that Trump and his team set a sting trap where they expected them to cheat and to be unfair and to be criminal. And all of the extra ballots that the cabal made, they don't have the special mark on them, the watermark or the mark, you know, that's hidden, and you need special technology to highlight and to see the mark, the real ballots, the legal ones. So, but either way, if let's say Trump wins, okay, we'll go forward, creating more nice things on the Earth, less lies, less mainstream media, and we're going to like go through a change. The predicted change from the Pleiadians is from 2016 to 2024 approximately. After that, 2024 will be entering possibly years of regrowth, like healing, replenishment, recovery, creating a new world. So that'll last for a good few years, many years. I don't know how many, like 8 to 15 approximately. And then after that, we'll become much more involved in the galaxy, the galactic other extraterrestrials, okay? And possibly mass disclosure of ETs will happen. But we need to raise our frequency collectively first and wake up more. Waking up isn't just learning new information about the truth, my friends. It's much more about our overall consciousness, which hugely revolves around our heart, which is like the revolver. It's almost the center of our chakras. So the heart chakra and our heart, which revolves stuff like compassion, love, forgiveness, care. It's the heart that matters most. So that's what it's also about. Shadow work. So to be a light worker, it's much more important to be a shadow worker. So a shadow worker is someone who works out and unravels and feels their shadow, which is their suppressed and repressed emotions and undigested emotions from childhood and previous relationships too, from overall trauma and loss and abuse in life. It could be sexual abuse, it could be loss of a parent, it could be a very neglectful or abusing parent or sibling or relative or ex-partner. Some we call narcissists, or people who are very sick and unwell or disconnected from their spirit, so to speak, okay? Very traumatized people themselves. So it's all about feeling our feelings and understanding trauma and our shadow, my friends. That's what it's all about. It's like to see the sunlight. If there's a big cloud in the way, we're not going to feel and see the light. But we can't be a sunlight worker. We want to be a cloud worker. That's the equivalent of being a shadow worker. So get rid of the cloud with proper realness and integrity, by feeling the emotions, accepting it, unconditionally loving and embracing what arises in the moment, is really important. So I'm going to read a comment. Rene de Freitas Martin says, "Miss you, Owen Fox." Thank you, Rene. Rene, I know who you are. From Brazil and the Vital Health Cafe in Gorey. Yeah, we miss you too. We wish you were open, and it's unconstitutional to prevent people from making a living. Many people recommend, who know the law, to stay open and try and stay alive and make a living. We're entitled to earn a living in a republic. That's our right. It's a God-given right. Can't be taken away or forfeited ever. So, yeah, we wish you're kick-ass in Gorey, having a lovely holistic cafe. Thank you. So Emily Astor Jordan says, "My favourite teacher bringing light." Well, thanks, Emily. Just doing my best here, I'm not pretending to be anything better than I am, or the full article or the polished article, not in the slightest bit. Just learning like the rest of us, But you probably like that part of me, just being authentic and honest, to be honest. Just to be honest with you, I bet you that's what you like about me. Most likely. And my playfulness and silliness. Okay, cool. So yeah, if anyone has any questions or comments, just feel welcome to ask. I'll probably end this in the next few minutes and go home. Just went shopping for bulbs. But yeah, what else in terms of what's going on? Yeah, stay optimistic, my friends. Even if Biden won, even if the cabal won, all that would happen is they do more bad stuff. We're watching them more than ever now. So more bad stuff happens, more hurt happens, more breakdown of society happens, more craziness. All that's going to lead to is even more awakening in a more ruffled, unpleasant type of style. But the more we can awaken, it'll be less unpleasant and more pleasant. And obviously, in my opinion, if Trump wins, it'll be more pleasant. But there's still that contrast of light and dark, and yeah, still the contrast. So there's a little bit of like bumps along the way, but that's what happens. Like sometimes I like to refer to as like we're giving birth to a new era, a new age, the golden age. And yeah, giving birth, there's contractions, there's discomfort. Yeah, that's okay in a way. It's not pleasant, and I respect and love, care for mothers, of course. Like I respect emotions and hardship. I have compassion in my heart for sure. But what I mean is sometimes the bumpy ride is worth it, and there's light at the end of the tunnel, is what I mean. So yeah, don't worry about that. Like stay optimistic. Don't delve too deep or think all of the time about all the bad stuff that could happen. Don't put your focus on the vision that you don't want to happen. There's kind of a psychopath's vision. View your own vision and collaborate and connect with and talk to people who are like more higher vibration, so to speak. And when it comes to Facebook and social media, like don't get too entangled in like reacting from your triggers. Just feel your triggers and take a bit of time out from Facebook. We don't need to get into huge like dialogues and conversations with people. Just wish them well. Like yesterday or today, I was like, "You're awesome. Like you're a lovely person. Love and respect you. We can have a different thoughts or ideas or information right now, and that's okay. It doesn't take away from who you are or who I am. Let's work towards unification, even between people like ourselves, instead of division or hurting or fighting or discord. It's okay. So monitor how much you know, and monitor if and when and how much you're triggered. Sometimes triggers are the pain body, the same thing basically. They can last for sometimes, as I said, like days, hours, weeks. It can, especially even a week or more. For sure it can. Especially when we're triggered, usually we feel someone else is being absolutely terrible, and we're in a deep state of feeling victimized, mistreated. And sometimes it's true that we have been, so I'm not trying to pretend we're not either. Sometimes it's true, but a lot of the time we've played a part, and it's not as bad as we think when we're triggered. That's just the honesty of it, because we have heightened, like, big flood of emotions that have been stuck. They haven't been in motion, it's just energy stuck, and now it's in emotion, it's an energy in motion, and the floodgates. So that's how healing happens. It happens in spurts, both energetically and with our consciousness, and also physically, when we're actually literally detoxing physical things too. And there's a certain degree of, like, combination. Like, sometimes we do physical detox, old energy, like new emotions from our childhood are released and felt too. I've often sobbed or cried or teared up when I've been, like, eating all raw or just fruits. Yeah. And sometimes, obviously, essential symptoms are physical. Sure, yeah. I didn't know you were watching. And thanks for saying you're the bestest, Owen Fox. Love you. Thanks. Love you too. You're always a fun, passionate, fiery person, lady. And I just want to say to Emily too, thanks for all your love you gave me in Canada, just for being there and caring. You're a motherly person, and thanks for being there back in the day, you know. Meant something to me, and I don't forget. And Sunny Frumi was or is watching too, and it's nice to connect with you too, Frumi, for a short period when I was in the Caribbean, actually. So thanks for that. That was before Canada. Some of the hard times in my life, you know, you've been there, and I'm sure you've been there in some of the hard times in my life too, as you know. But thanks for being there, all of you, you know. I appreciate you very much. Appreciate all the love and care. We're all in it together, my friends, you know what I'm saying? No, we're all special, no one's extra special. Let's just try and put our egos aside and just, like, be heart-centered, lead by our hearts. For me, my favourite thing is just sort of being myself and learning shadow work, because that's my favourite thing, you know. There's nothing better than just being authentic to how I really truly feel in the moment. Like, when I'm feeling triggered, I feel like pretty shit. I feel bad, I feel upset, annoyed, angry, distant, let down, upset. I don't want to, like, talk, not only really particularly maybe to the person I'm upset with, which is usually my partner always. They don't want to talk to me in this moment either, because they're triggered. But when it comes to just general, like, comers or goers or strangers or people we might know or bump into someone, or even, like, you know, I'm just out of action. I'm a bit, like, out of sorts tremendously, and I'm very bad at, like, acting or pretending to be happy or social when I'm literally not feeling happy or social. I'm very just wear my heart on my sleeve. That's just me. Everyone is different, and I'm glad everyone's different. My way isn't the best way, but it's just my way and many other people's way. But I think overall it's good to just be a bit overall, like, to wear our hearts on our sleeve a little bit more in society overall in general, because there's a little bit too much hiding and suppressing going on, which is cool, you know. We're just on our path of learning, you know. But I think it's good just to be a little bit more honest with our feelings and our wishes and our needs without projecting, because when we project is when we take out our trigger on somebody else and we act as if they're the terrible perpetrator and the blame. And we're signing away our power. Like, really, the opposite is to take responsibility for our emotions and take accountability for our part in arguments or general things in life. What we did and what we didn't do to create a situation. We have to take accountability. So J-Deb Berra says, where am I from? And the answer to that is, I'm from Ireland, but I've travelled the globe and Canada, US, the Canary Islands, and Asia, a few different countries in Asia. Anyway, I suppose I better go, my friends. I think I'm needed or wanted elsewhere. Loads of love to you. Thanks for watching. Appreciate your time and attention. Give this video a share if you feel it would help people, which I hope that it would. So, yeah, give it a share. I'd like that if you wouldn't mind. Help others, you know. It might help people for real, you know. There's not enough of this sort of stuff in the mainstream media. And it's just good. The social media is the people's media now, where we're in control of what we share instead of the puppet masters of the cabal who own the media station. So let's share the real stuff, you know. Yeah, okay. And if anyone wants any consultations or any other help, just message me or my other friends. And yeah, on my YouTube description I have other healers, and I want to add other healers too, who can help too. I want to like be supportive of the team of healers, people who do other stuff that I do as well, you know. Be a team, my friends. Let's support each other. Okay, have a lovely day, my friends. Have a gorgeous day and celebration. the best day ever. Have the best day ever. Okay, take care. Lots of love. Thanks for watching. Bye now.